Should you outline your novel or not? I get this question all the time from writers before they know me and my very strong opinion on this question. Spoiler alert, my answer is no, you should not outline, but I'm gonna tell you how to map out your book and what you'll be using instead. Let's go. I often tell the story of the first novel draft I ever wrote. I did not outline, but not only did I not outline, I did the opposite of outlining. I Googled how many words are in a novel. The internet told me 70,000, and so I just wrote until I hit that number. I did not plot a thing. I didn't think about plot or arc or character development. I just wrote. I have since learned that writers call this pantsing, meaning writing by the seat of your pants, but I didn't know that at the time. When I finished, I had a meandering storyline that needed a lot of work. I mean, so much work that I wound up rewriting that book about 13 times before I could find a literary agent who wanted to represent it and me. But in that process, and in the process of writing and selling my next 2 novels after that, I discovered a happy medium between pantsing and outlining. And I'm gonna share that middle approach here. The first thing I want you to take away from this is that outlining creates an illusion of control and makes your book narrower than it could be. Okay, first, why not an outline? Doesn't it save you time and mistakes later? No, I actually don't think it does. Outlining, I believe, is a way of creating an illusion of control that doesn't actually serve you or your book, if you're like me. Stories, I believe, have their own identity. They have a personality, an energy, and a place they want to go. They choose us writers as their stewards. We are half of the partnership meant to execute on the inspiration that chooses us. I did not invent this idea. I stole it from Liz Gilbert in her amazing book, Big Magic. But I agree with it. I believe in it. Every book I have written has changed me. It starts out one way and then it leads me and I learn from it. In this way, I end up writing a book that's wiser than I am and I become wiser in the process. Because of all of this, I think outlining often limits our stories to the boundaries of our imagination and vision at the onset of our writing process. It's a way of imposing our current self on our future pages instead of allowing our future pages to shape and teach our current self. Now, I'm not suggesting you totally pants it, become a pantser. In place of an outline, we are going to use a couple of replacements, okay? So this brings me to number 2, your second takeaway for this video. Instead of an outline, you're going to develop a big question. There is a question at the heart of your book. What is it? We're gonna phrase this as a question for a reason. It makes us more open and less didactic, more curious and less likely to preach. Again, we're trying to write a book that's wiser than we are presently. So there are a few things that this big question should be. It should be deep. Not just practical, as in, not just whether to move or whether to marry someone, but deeper than that. It should matter to your main character. It should be thorny. It should be difficult to grapple with. It should be emotional. It should involve their feelings. And finally, and ideally, you as the author should feel like you don't really know the answer, but you want to. Here are just a couple of examples of big questions that I pulled from contemporary novels. The Wife by Meg Wolitzer. The big question is, what happens to an explosive hidden secret over a lifetime? The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. Can we completely change who we are? The Immortalists by Chloe Benjamin. Do our beliefs become our reality? Or to what extent is that true? To what extent do our beliefs become our reality? Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. What is best for a child when there's a conflict? Love and resources or love and biological relation? And when does this analysis shift and why? Many novels ask the question, how long do you hold out for real love when you aren't even sure what that is? I hope you're getting the idea. Before you start writing, fill in this sentence. The question at the heart of my book is blank. Now, spend the entire novel draft exploring the answer to that question. question. Okay, I still have to share with you my other strategy that you're gonna use in lieu of an outline. But before I do, a quick invitation. I have a free private group for writers working on books where once a month I host a live event where I plan out the first third of a new novel from scratch. It's super fun. It's like improv meets novel writing, and you'll learn by watching and participating. You can join this event, 30,000 words in 30 minutes. Watch Mary plan the first third of a novel from scratch at the link below this video. Now back to the video. Okay, the other thing you're going to use in lieu of an outline is a story map. You will be developing a story map. A story map is just what it sounds like. You have a destination, and now you need to find a way to get there. It's like dropping a pin on a map and then taking off, figuring out the roads as you go. So a story map just means deciding on a story destination. This is not a physical location where your characters will wind up. It's more like a climactic event where things are going to come to a head. Now, the key here is you don't need to know how things are gonna turn out or what will happen, but you wanna think up a collision moment for your characters so that you can write toward it. Here are some examples of hypothetical destinations. In a legal drama, the case is decided. In Cinderella, the clock strikes midnight, or the ball. An epic war movie, maybe it's the battle scene. In a thriller, the body is found or the killer is discovered. You get the idea. You don't have to decide how things are resolved again, and in fact, I wouldn't try, but you can choose a destination without deciding how it's going to play out. Now, I don't advise that you spend a lot of time sweating the destination. Your destination is likely to change as you go along. You may reach it on page 30, thinking it'll take you the whole book to get there, and it doesn't. And that's fine. That pretty much happens to me every draft I write. All that matters at this point is that your chosen destination has enough energy to pull you forward into the meat of your book. As long as it's pulling you forward, it's working, because here's the secret. It doesn't really matter what your destination is. The point is that by writing towards something instead of away from the first page, our writing has forward motion. It has energy that's positive, not negative. Momentum, in other words, and that's what we want. We want momentum. So you may wind up coming up with a new destination every week for the next 16 weeks as you write your novel. And if so, great, you're doing it right. Keep going, stay open, and see where it takes you. And hey, if you're still watching, I assume you're writing a book or want to write a book. And if so, I have something for you. A few years ago, I created the 4 notebooks method, my process for handwriting a novel across 4 notebooks. This is my strategy for mapping out your story structure in a way that doesn't lock you into an outline or suck all the freedom and fun out of writing. So if you'd like to learn that method and get a free digital template for writing your novel in 4 notebooks, just go to the link below this video. To get the template, you just have to apply for my program, the Book Incubator. It's 2 questions to apply, it takes under 5 minutes, and you'll get the template right away. Whether you join or not, there's no pressure to enroll. So just tell me a little bit about you and your book or your book idea. I can't wait to hear from you.